Hello and good evening to the Year 9 Options Evening 2022-3. My apologies first of all for the fact that we've actually had to do this online rather than in person. Obviously I'm recording this video on Wednesday night. The Met Office is forecasting for some quite severe weather for Thursday when we would have had the Options Evening. So fingers crossed the Met Office has got it right and I've made the right call to cancel the in-person evening. Only time will tell. So when you're watching this, who knows what the weather will be like. Okay, so this Options Evening, I'm going to briefly outline what the process is, how it works, how to get advice, and to see what's actually going to happen in the process. My presentation will be online. You'll be able to watch it as much as you like and pause it if there's anything you need to have a look at. But the most important thing all the way through this process is if there's any issues at any stage, please feel free to get in contact with any of the members of staff that's relevant. There will be a big list of the email addresses at the end, and in fact emailed out to you tonight with the links to this video. Okay, so overall the aim is to produce or provide a balanced curriculum that allows all students to maximise their opportunities post-16. Okay, reality is it's a relatively limited option choice because the majority of the subjects are core subjects like English, maths and so on, which are needed all the way through. Okay, so this is sort of a bit like the icing on the cake, one or two extra options to take into account as you progress through. Okay, so make no apology for this. I've done this for the last 2 or 3 years on Options Evening to just remind and refresh people about the new GCSE grades. Obviously, when mums and dads were at school, the grade descriptors were A star, A, B, C, D, and so on. Now it's changed, and it's nice for us to refresh our minds as to what the different grades actually mean. So the old-fashioned grade C, the simple pass, is now a grade 4. But in fact, we've now got a good pass at grade 5, which is, if you like, the top grade C or a lower grade B. So in some senses, the bar has been raised. We're trying to get as many pupils as possible to get what the DfE calls a good pass at grade 5 or above, not just simply getting the grade 4, the standard C, if that makes sense. And you can see for yourselves there where the other benchmarks arrive. So obviously an A or an A star is a 7 or above, and you can think of the grade 9 being a little bit like an A star star. So it gives you a bit of an idea of what the grading system is like when we go through, and we're aiming for as many pupils as possible to get through on a strong pass grade 5. Okay. So, the core subjects, as I said before, lots of core subjects, very important ones. We're going to do mathematics, obviously. You'll notice statistics there. I've linked that to the mathematics because it underpins and helps the mathematics. And obviously, because of the pandemic and the fact that some pupils have missed some learning in school learning, it's a really good, useful extra GCSE to have to underpin that mathematics. Just to give you another little idea, it underpins lots of other subjects as well, not simply mathematics. It's definitely relevant in geography, in sciences, in things like psychology and so on. Lots of areas are using statistics, so if they get the core statistics GCSE, not only they get a decent statistics GCSE, but it also underpins. Just to give you an idea about that, I was covering a lesson, ironically, for Mr. Weston about a week or so ago when he had to go onto a course, and I was just covering a little bit of his geography lesson, and I was going through a past paper with the students, and it was amazing how many marks you could simply get just by being able to use statistics, and not being a geography specialist. I could still help those pupils with those papers very easily, and hopefully that means when they follow statistics they'll be able to pick up lots of marks in lots of other subjects. Okay, obviously English language will not be a surprise, that's on the core subject, and English literature. Basically, the government is expecting all pupils to do English language and literature to give them that good broad foundation in there. All pupils will also do combined science or double GCSE in science. What that actually means is they'll study all 3 sciences, both biology and chemistry and physics, and they'll come away with 2 GCSEs. However, a significant majority of our pupils, we will be aiming for triple award. This won't cost anything more on the option blocks, but they come away with 3 examination results. 1 in biology, 1 in chemistry, 1 in physics. Now, there is no criteria for this apart from simply working hard and having ability. So as I say, a very large number of pupils will be doing triple award, and we'll aim as many as possible to do that. We won't make the final decision as to whether pupils carry on the triple award or do the double award until probably the beginning of year 11, when we know more about the pupils and how they're doing at the slightly harder GCSE courses. Okay. No surprise that all pupils will do core PE. No surprise that all pupils will do PHSCE, personal health, social careers, citizenship education, the types of things that you might have done in tutor periods and etc. etc. Okay. We have a really good record for producing some very good mathematicians, and the top set pupils will be entered for further mathematics, as well as ordinary mathematics. Okay, there will be some bespoke choices for some pupils, especially that have already been dealing with Mrs. Robinson in the SEND department. Mrs. Robinson will have already contacted those involved, and they will have a subtly different choice direction from this, but you will already know who you are and how that works. Okay, moving on to the choices and the way we're going. Okay, I want to introduce the EBACC, which is something that the government introduced about 10 years ago, and the government recommends an EBACC pathway. So to explain what an EBACC pathway is, it's all of the core. It's your maths, it's your English language, it's your English literature, and 1 of geography or history to get the modern humanities, and 1 language, Spanish, that we do at Bingley. So if you want to go on the EBACC pathway that the government recommends, you will have to do geography or history and Spanish. More about that later on, but at Bingley we are saying this really is a choice. If people want to do that, that's absolutely fantastic and great. If people don't, if they're struggling a little bit in Spanish and they don't feel it's for them, then that's okay as well. We're doing that via choice rather than by dictating that everybody must do. So that's up to individuals whether they want to drop the language or not. Okay, so now we're getting down to the main choices. Your first choice is very simple. It's, are you studying history or geography? At the moment, you'll be studying both. You can drop one or other of them as you go into year 10 and start your GCSEs. So whether you pick geography, history, completely up to you. If you want to continue to study both, absolutely fine, but that will cost you one of the option choices later on. So everybody at this stage on choice 1, if you like, history or geography. Okay. Now we go on to choices 2 and 3. This would be the point where if you wanted to do the EBACC, one of those choices would be Spanish at that point. Okay, but again, emphasis that we more than happy if you want to drop out of the language at this point and not study Spanish in year 10, 11, that is your choice, absolutely fine. Okay, so here are the list of the choices. So you've got, everybody gets to pick 2 out of this list. So if you like, it's your options 2 and 3. You choose Spanish if you want to carry on with the EBACC. You choose geography or history if you want to do both of those, having already chosen one of them previously. Okay, and then you basically have to pick 2 from that list. Very simple, lots of choice there. Obviously, I'm not going to go into the details of what each of those subjects are. You will have been released to you tonight with this video. Will be a link to all of those videos so you can have a quick look from the subject leads. What do those particular subjects entail? They will know more than me. Those videos will tell you everything that you need to know about those subjects. If the videos still don't tell you everything, then at that stage, a simple email to the member of staff. I will give the email list later on, and then you can try and find out exactly what you need to know about that subject as to whether it's suitable for your son, daughter, or in fact for yourself if you are the pupil. Okay, so that's the list there. Very simple. You're going to pick 2 choices out of that list there. Okay. Little bit about reserved choices. We will not be collecting any reserved choices, but I'm just highlighting now, of course, we can't guarantee any particular course running. If numbers are not viable, if we only get 2 or 3 pupils for a particular course, that course wouldn't run simply for economic reasons. But also, there could be an issue with staffing. Obviously, if staff want to move schools and things like that, we might not know about that now. In fact, we wouldn't know about that now if they hadn't got a job elsewhere. Obviously, staffing issues mean that we can't guarantee these courses. But of course, if there was for any reason that you didn't get all of your choices, and if there or any other reason, we would contact you, explain the issue, talk about the way forward, and give you ample time to make a new decision based on that. Historically, that is very rare. I'm putting this out there just so that we're all aware of that, but I'm not anticipating doing that anything like that this year. Anticipating vast majority will get all the choices that they would like to have. Okay. Little thing about making the right choice. I won't go into this too much, but clearly there's lots and lots of pressures on pupils and families to make the right choice. Teachers will be giving you lots and lots of different advice. Your family will be giving you lots of advice. Your friends may be giving you lots of advice. You would like to know and make the right choice to get the career choice that you're going to move on to correct, but you might not know what your career choice is at the moment. In fact, majority don't. The good thing is the vast majority of subjects in the sixth form do not depend upon the subjects you are doing at this choice. Obviously, if you want to do geography at A level, you need to take geography now. If you want to do history at A level, you need to take history now. So there's some fairly simple, obvious ones, but there are a large number of new courses that come into play in the sixth form that don't rely on any particular GCSE course all the way through. Okay. One more little thing, sometimes pupils pick a subject simply because they love the teacher that's currently teaching them. That's great and lovely, and it's good that they're getting on well with that teacher, but we will not guarantee which teacher they have when they're in year 10 and 11. So it might not be the right reason for doing it. The reasons for doing it are you enjoy the subject, you're good at the subject, you're getting on well in the subject, and you're going to get a good result out of it. Okay, so that's a little bit about the choices that pupils and parents have to make. Okay, coming towards the end of the my options talk now, just to remind you that on the email that was sent out this evening, it's got lots of links to all the different subject videos, and in some senses that's more important than the information I've given you tonight. Okay. The option forms will not be actual physical form this year. We'll be sending them out online. It's a bit more efficient for collecting the information and things. There will be a link sent out for you this evening for that one. If there are any issues with having problems with that link or anything like that, please get in contact and we'll sort all those different things. Okay. I'm setting a deadline of the options choices to be completed by next Friday. That gives you a full week and the weekend to talk about things, get in contact if you've got any issues and all those types of things. But I will say that is not a strict deadline. If for any reason you need a little bit more time to make that final choice, I've got no problem at all about that. Please just get in contact and tell us that you'd like a little extension to that. We've got no issue with that at all. I'd rather people make the right choice rather than have people making a choice and then worried about whether they can change it or not and things like that. Please, if there's any issue about choices, just get in contact. Okay. Subject leader emails will be on the next slide, and I'll finish off leaving that slide there, so there'll be a few minutes with it. The video goes silent where you can actually double check them, but those links will be sent out to you as well. But I just want to quickly emphasise before I go on to the last slide, the basic principle is really quite simple. You've got all of those core subjects that every pupil will do. On top of that, you've got a simple choice. Choice one, are you doing geography or are you doing history? So that's your choice one. Then you've got two more choices, two more free choices. If you want to do the EBACC, one of those will be Spanish. If you want to do geography and history, one of those will be the other one that you didn't pick on choice one. And everybody else, it's a simple two choices out of that big list of all the different subjects. Okay, so as I said, I put the email addresses up now. I'll leave them on after I've finished talking for another few seconds, so you can pause the video and you can just actually make sure that you know who to contact if you want to. All of these particular staff, the subject leads in those particular areas, will be online from 6 till about 7:30, trying to pick up any issues and give you answers straight away, so that we can move the choice process on really quickly at that point. Okay, thank you very much.